Let's talk about your boy Danzig. Danzig recently has been under scrutiny for a piece of merch that I don't think he really has any hand in developing. We'll get into some of the details here, but this is a post from Ricky Rackman, who Joey, you didn't even know who Ricky Rackman was. He was the original host for the Headbangers Ball. So he's
you brought him up a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So I follow him on Instagram, and so that's I see a lot of his stuff. But he asked the question, "Is this offensive?" And he said, "I'm not making a statement here. You have to look far to find a bigger Danzig fan than myself. I like Glenn Danzig as a person too. Truth, I'm curious, does this shirt look like a swastika? I don't know how I feel. I want to know how you feel. Personally, I don't see it. Is it a sun wheel?" So it's not a swastika, first of all.
It doesn't look anything like a swastika.
Yeah, it's definitely not a swastika. But let's keep going here. Glenn Danzig faces backlash over apparent Nazi symbol on merch design. So this is from Yahoo Entertainment. The post Glenn Danzig faces backlash over apparent Nazi symbol was originally from Consequence. So Consequence, I guess, broke this news. But I got the article from Yahoo. Glenn Danzig is facing backlash from fans after selling a poster and T-shirt at his recent LA show that contained an apparent Nazi-related black sun symbol. So it's not supposed to be a swastika. It's the black sun symbol. Danzig just completed a short tour with his eponymous band, which included a stop on Saturday night at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. Fans could purchase a special poster and shirt marking that specific concert, though a few noticed that the design featured an illustrated Danzig standing in front of Nazi-associated iconography, specifically the black sun, aka Sunred or Sunwheel symbol that has been co-opted by some white supremacist groups. So they're kind of admitting right there that it's been co-opted by white supremacist groups. So it's not initially a white supremacist symbol, right?
Well, it's a Nazi. It is a German Nazi symbol, I'm pretty sure. The black sun. Look that up. Like the black, I'm pretty sure it originates in Nazi Germany.
Stay tuned. It's in the slideshow, actually.
Yeah.
Can't spell Danzig without Nazi, one fan wrote on X who posted an image of the show poster. That's pretty clever. I mean, I like you could have. In fact, the Nazi G might be an anagram for Danzig. Anyway, another user reposted the pic, adding, "What the fuck is this, Glenn Danzig? This was designed by the fucking Nazis, so don't try to hide behind it. It's an ancient symbol they co-opted, and I'm taking it back. This is flatly Nazi shit." The merch in question was soon posted to Danzig's subreddit, where another group of fans attempted to defuse the controversy by citing that the black sun is also used by pagan and Satanist groups as an esoteric symbol, which sounds a lot more like Danzig's wheelhouse, but I digress. The Anti-Defamation League's official website notes, because Sonorad imagery is used by many cultures around the world, one should not assume that most Sonorad-like images necessarily denote racism or white supremacy. Rather, they should be analyzed carefully in the context in which they appear. And that's the ADL, who I definitely don't have a ton of respect for. They're very spotty on stuff like this. So the fact that they're coming out and saying that is pretty huge.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't think he was being a Nazi, like using it in a, I don't think he was using it in a malicious way. Like you said, too, he might have not had even a hand in it at all.
Right.
But
so
it is an interesting design. Like, it is like, all right, well, I don't know. That might just kind of be stupid. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of stupid. I don't know.
It seems like a maybe ginned up controversy a little bit, but let's keep going. The poster and shirt look to be specific one-off event merch, which are often designed by separate and sometimes local artists. So it's possible that Danzig himself had limited input on the design. You can see the Twitter posts and the images of the poster below. We already showed it, but this is the part I wanted to get to. This is the Wikipedia page for the black sun symbol. Dryden, just for you.
There we go.
This article is about the neo-Nazi symbol. The black sun is a type of sun wheel symbol originating in Nazi Germany and later employed by neo-Nazis and other far-right individuals and groups. The symbol's design consists of 6 radical SS logos. It first appeared in Nazi Germany as a design element in a castle Wellsburg, remodeled and expanded by the head Heinrich Himmler. It's unknown whether the design had a name or held any particular significance among the SS. Its contemporary association with the occult originates with a 1991 German novel, Die Schwarze Sonne, Tashi Lumpo, by pseudonymous author Russell McLeod. The book links the West Wellsburg mosaic with the neo-Nazi concept of the Black Sun. The Anti-Defamation League notes that though the symbol is popular with white supremacists, imagery resembling the Black Sun features in many cultures, and that such imagery should always be analyzed in the context in which it appears, as it may not necessarily be intended to serve as a symbol of white supremacy or racism.
So I'm going to assume everyone who's mad at Danzig just didn't read that bottom half part.
Yeah.
Just read the first 2 paragraphs.
Or they,
because
So-
like I feel
Go
like
ahead.
Danzig is we've talked about it before with the what's it called, the parental advisory stuff. Like Danzig is a smart dude, and I feel like he knows what he's doing, like I don't know if it would be like you
So,
said, that makes
couple
more sense
things.
that it's like a
Couple
one-off thing. And
A couple things. First, Danzig's name comes from the German city Danzig. Like that's a stage name. That's not his real name.
Nazi.
Right. I'm not saying he's a Nazi either. But I'm just saying that but that city is a big part of World War II history. So I guess I guess the point I'm making is I can understand why people are making this jump. Second thing I wanted to say is, do you remember we talked about this symbol, dude from what's that band called with the Russian band?
Slaughter.
Alex
Yeah, he
Terrible.
got it covered up.
Alex Terrible.
Slaughter to Prevail.
Slaughter to Prevail. I always
No.
forget their name.
He had that.
He had a black sun tattoo, I think,
Yeah, I think so.
from when he was in like a white supremacist type group or something. So I guess I can see why people are making that jump, but also it's kind of like, what does the
Like
shirt-
the AL said, what's the context? I don't know if Glenn himself was even involved in that. I don't know if he okayed it. Like there's a
he
lot.
wasn't.
Yeah, like you can't.
He
just
clearly
blame
was not.
that. Yeah, I don't think he would have.
So let's look at real quick. Let's look at it one more time. Here's the actual design on the right here. So, I mean, it's actually kind of a cool design. It just has like a comic book version of him in front of that kind of wheel type symbol. And then it has the stuff coming out of it, the reverse. I don't know. I mean,
It looks like lightning to me.
yeah,
But there again, lightning could be a Nazi symbol as well. So
that's true. That's true.
it's just like, to me, context is everything, like
Yeah.
if you have someone that's clearly speaking out against certain groups and marginalizing people or whatever, and they use the symbol, I think you can probably read into that a little bit more. But
Mhm.
my gosh, when does it end? We
It's
can
just
associate
crazy.
we can associate Nazi with Germany.
Yeah.
So does that mean we should ban everything that's German just because we could get
Right.
Nazi? Like, where does it end?
What were we
When
saying,
it's
Dre?
crazy, the jump, just people have like on Danzig already. I don't know. Like, there's no like reading into it. There's no like the people that didn't read the Wikipedia. It's just like, I don't know.
Well, did you see my comment too under the Ricky Rackman article? I don't know
Yeah,
if I read it.
yeah.
But did you see
Again,
what I said?
I'm sure you saw the Ye interview today, but
Well, hold on. Before we get into anything else, let me read this comment because I think it's relevant.
yeah.
The 2020s version of the satanic panic is the everyone is a secret Nazi panic. Maybe Danzig's gearing up to do a white supremacy tour with Kanye.
Yeah, there you go.
I use Kanye specifically because he's not white and he's doing it for attention. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I wasn't really saying much, but it's just crazy, like the instant jump and attack onto Danzig. There's no there's no sort of like pause or like. I mean, I get it. I don't know. I
he's an easy
understand the
target
hate.
too. He's an easy target. Like I was like
Yeah.
the satanic thing has always been imagery that he's associated with and used. So, you know, it's easy to make that jump. Like, oh, you're a satanic Nazi is like the next. You can make that jump.
Well,
you know?
and my argument too is that he's always been very critical of the establishment and, you know, people in power, and that this is another way to maybe somehow demean
Discredit someone.
his political takes. Yeah.
I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that because honestly, like, it's not like, you know, Danzig fans are gonna be like, oh, I'm not listening to him anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's some that I guess might probably.
Well, I don't know. It's just gotten so crazy. I mean, just I'm thinking like even like the fist, like if someone puts their fist up in the air, what does that mean?
Well, it reminds me.
It could be Black Power. It could be the Aryan fist. It could. Like, what does it mean? Like it's all context, and you know, it's just relax.
Remember that thing where people were doing the AOK symbol and they were saying white supremacy?
They said that was a white supremacist symbol.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
doing
like
the AOK thing.
Doing this?
I mean,
yeah,
and it's
there's
like
the whole thing with that.
There is like scenarios where people have done that hand signal to like say white power or whatever because like WP, but for the most part, that's a made up thing. I feel like.
Yeah, you can tar and
twist
feather
anything. Yeah.
That my biggest thing is especially in the current media climate, whether it's politically leaning, anything, it's like I want to hear it from the source because everyone distorts things with their own political agenda. It's
either way, yeah.
That's a good segue into our next segment on Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan is a person who is hated by a lot of people who have never actually even listened to Joe Rogan's show. And if you actually listen to Joe Rogan, like I don't listen to Joe Rogan for Joe Rogan. It's not about, the show isn't even about Joe Rogan. It's about the guests he has on that he does interviews with. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the kind of stuff where it's
guests that he actually lets talk for a while?
Yeah, because I was going to say, I always find it funny that he's like smeared this way when he's just asking questions most of the time or like letting the guests kind of ramble on about whatever topic.
I mean, Joe's got some weird ideas sometimes. You don't have to agree with all of them, but I like the format.
Well, and like any person, he has a bias, you know, I'm sure. But that's what makes his podcast so unique, and that's kind of where it started, is because he's just being himself, and he's just a curious guy that's asking questions and giving his take on things.
Right. But my point is basically that people hate him not for things that he's even said a lot of times, just for things that people have taken out of context from a conversation or a small piece of a conversation.
Yeah.
So anyway, when it comes to the Danzig thing, I would apply the same level of, you know, I want to hear it from Danzig's mouth. I've never, you know.
Come on, Glenn. Come on.
Come out and talk.
He's going to say Hail Hitler.
He's going to come out and do an Elon Musk thing and be like, I got excited. And, you know, it's
going to do a Roman salute.
I love you guys.